Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Today's Tuesday talk is going to be about some quick, cheap kitchen improvements. I've had a lot of questions about how I did different little things in the kitchen, and I did a lot of it really inexpensively. And most of it is pretty easy to do. You can do it with just a few common tools, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about any of these projects, but I wanted to kind of go over all of them, give you some basic instructions on how to do them, because I know the holidays are coming up and a lot of us are wanting to spruce our kitchens up a little bit before we have a lot of company over. But because things are so strange this year, a lot of us don't have money to put into our kitchens right now. And with the cost of building materials and everything, we really can't afford to do it. So the first one is the pot rack. I've had lots of people ask about the pot rack. And my pot rack looks like brushed stainless, just like my refrigerator. And I have the same kind of poles all around my kitchen that I have cameras hanging on. And all that is 3/4 inch EMT metal conduit. And we took it out in the garage and took Scotch-Brite to it and scratched it down with Scotch-Brite until it was smooth and shiny, and then sprayed it with some cheap spray paint. When I bought this, it was about $5 a stick. I think it's considerably more than that now, but it's still not, it's maybe $12 to $15 a stick now, so it's still not outrageous. And if you're talking about a pot rack for $15, that's pretty cheap. And this 3/4 inch metal conduit will hold a ton of weight. The only thing I had to have besides the stick of conduit was I bought some of these 2-hole straps, and it's just a strap that fits over the conduit, and then I screwed it to the edge of the cabinet where it goes across the window. Now if you don't have an edge like that, you can get closet pole brackets, and you can use closet pole brackets. If you do the closet pole bracket, you want to make sure you run a screw through your bracket into your conduit, and you will have to have a drill or a self-tapping screw for that. If you don't screw the pole into the closet pole bracket, it'll slide and it could fall off one end and all your pots fall, and also it'll twist all the time, and that'll make it difficult to use. So make sure you screw it to your bracket. Now if you put it across the top of the cabinets like I did, this holds it really well. You just run a screw through both sides of your strap into the edge of your cabinet. Use a small screw and drill it first so that it doesn't split the edge of your cabinet. Really simple, just takes a few minutes to make. And you can buy hangers. You can just buy the pot hangers without buying the pot rack. But I made all my hangers out of metal coat hangers. And I did that because I could adjust the length of them so that my pots fit inside of one another, so I could hang a lot more pots in the same amount of space. I actually have, gosh, I counted them one time, and I can't remember how many pots I have hanging up there, but there's 3 complete sets plus some odd pans. And several of my lids I have hanging up there. And I've got, colanders and strainers and all kinds of other stuff all hanging up there. But I also have 2 bars. I have one that I've hung up with brackets and one that I put across the front of the cabinet. And it's really easy to make these. Not only can you adjust the length so that they fit inside each other, but you can adjust the hook on the end where you hook your pot so that it fits the pot handle. Some of my pot handles are really thin and some of them are really thick, so I adjust the hook that I hang the pot on to fit each pot. Very custom, but very easy. And the only thing you need really to do that is just a pair of wire cutters. These are called side cutters, and then they have an official name that I can't say because it would get tagged. But these little things right here, just look for them in the hardware store. They're with all the other pliers. And if you ask for wire cutters, they'll direct you to these or some wire cutter stripper things. That's not what you want. You want these. Side cutters, wire cutters, they'll find it. I can put the official name in the description for you. Like I said, that's super easy. Mine cost about $5, even with the spray paint, because a stick of this is 10 feet long. And as far as I know, you have to get a whole stick. And they will cut it in places like Lowe's for you. So if you know how long you need it cut, they'll cut it in the store for you. So you don't even have to worry about cutting it at home. But you could cut it with a jigsaw with a metal blade. Of course, you can cut it with a chop saw if you've got a chop saw. You can cut it with a sawzall with a metal blade, just anything like that. And then, like this was just cut off and not sanded or anything, you would want to grind the edge so you don't have sharp edges to get cut on and stuff. This was just a piece of scrap that I had so I could show you. The other thing is hooks. I have used hooks of all kinds in my kitchen. These little cup hooks, like the little C hooks, they come in all different sizes, and you can put them in just with your bare hands. A pair of regular pliers helps, or linesman pliers, so you can grip it and use the pliers to turn it. It also helps if you pre-drill the holes. You would not want to do these, of course, if you were in a rental place, but you can do, if you're in a rented house or apartment, you can use the command hooks around your kitchen. You can't hang a ton of weight on the command hooks, and usually if it says 5 pounds, I would stick to maybe a pound or 2, especially if it's going to be something you use over a long period of time. But the command hooks you can use even if you're renting. And I have mine, I actually screwed them right into the edge of the cabinet. There's a little strip of wood under the edge of your cabinet that screws your cabinet to the wall and holds your whole cabinet to the wall. And that's where I put most of these hooks. But I have some of them in the front edge of the cabinet. There's also a strip of wood right behind the front of your cabinets that is the face of your cabinet, but you can screw into the back side of it and hang stuff up there. So I've got these C-hooks everywhere. Magnetic hooks, I've put magnetic hooks, magnetic clips, even bar magnets on my refrigerator, and I use that space. You can get bigger hooks like this for heavier things. My ham, David cured me a ham, a country ham, and you have to hang those to keep them fresh. I don't have a smokehouse to hang mine in, so I used one of these hooks, and it's actually up between the cabinets. There's a blank space up between my cabinets over here where I've got my ham hanging, and I just drilled a hole from the inside of the cabinet and then put this hook up in between the cabinets and hung my ham on it, and it holds it just fine. My cast iron skillets. Lots of folks have asked about my cast iron skillets. Now, I would not hang my cast iron skillets on any of these C-hooks because it has a single attachment point, and that's not enough to hold the weight of my 10-inch skillet. So what I use for that is one of these hooks that has 2 screw holes in it, and this is like a coat hook or something that you would put on the back of a door or the edge of a door, and it has 2 little screws in it, and I put them in that same strip of wood that runs under the back edge of the cabinet, and I hung my skillets up with that. And you can pick out a hook that will match your cabinet. Just make sure that the tip of your hook is not bigger than the hole in your pot or your pan or whatever you're trying to hang up. Like I said, the command hooks are great if you don't want it to be permanent, or if you're in a rental. You can use the magnets on your refrigerator so it doesn't mess up the finish on your refrigerator. And most of the magnets are covered with a protective film on the back, so if they slide, it doesn't scratch your refrigerator. If it doesn't have that, you might want to get some thin craft felt that has an adhesive back or something and put it on there so it doesn't scratch your refrigerator, because if a magnet slides on your refrigerator, it will scratch it. The bar magnets that I have my knives on over here, I wrap those in electrical tape, so if they slide, they won't scratch the refrigerator. The plastic electrical tape will protect the refrigerator. The other thing is backsplashes and wall coverings. I want to cover real quick. A lot of you have asked about this behind my stove over here, and I love that, but that is just a poster. And when I changed the stove out, I had to have something that would cover that, because where the other stove had the controls up on the back of the stove, there was this much area of wall that did not look good at all. And I couldn't find anything that would cover it and look good, and that is just a poster. But with the holidays coming, if you need something to go behind your stove that looks really, really good and really, really expensive, you can get a poster and use a poster through the holidays. I've had that up now for at least 6 months, but it is reaching that point from the heat, you know, where the heat comes out of the oven and stuff splashing on the stove. It's not really cleanable. I'm going to have to take it down. And a lot of you had asked about it, where to get it. Maybe you could get one framed. Well, you could get one probably and frame it, and I will try to find the link for that. I ordered it a long time ago, and I don't know if I can. If I can find the link, though, I'll put it in the description, because they had a lot of other posters where I ordered it from, and they were all really nice like that. So, you know, if you're looking for something to go behind your stove and you just want it to look good through Thanksgiving and Christmas when you got all your company coming over, a poster is an option. Another option is contact paper. And the contact paper will work in rental houses and apartments, because it is peel and stick, and it's not only peel and stick on the wall, but it's peel and stick off of the wall. I had this design up on my kitchen walls for a very long time. When you do use digital video or photography, the light reacts very strange to some colors. And one of the cameras we had did not like this green at all. And this green is really a little bit bright for the camera now. So I'm going to have to do something else to it. And I'm kind of thinking I'm going to go with this, at least on the back wall back here by the stove and behind the stove, to kind of tone it down just a little bit. And also this brown will kind of do the brown in my countertops. But I got this at the Dollar Tree, and it cost me $5 to do the backsplash all the way around my kitchen. And I had it up for 5 years. And now it did yellow a little bit, but not much. And because it's plastic, you can wipe it and clean it off. If you splatter stuff on it when you're mixing, it comes off. Grease comes off of it. And 5 years this lasted for $5. So if you need a cheap backsplash, contact paper. And it's so easy to put in. You just need a knife, some scissors, a screwdriver to take your plate covers off, and super easy. I used a kitchen spatula, a rubber kitchen spatula, to smooth the bubbles out of mine. So, you know, one like I would scrape a bowl with. That's another really easy tip. And several of you have also commented about my new tile countertops. They're not tile. That is some plain tan paint and polyurethane. I took fine line tape, outlined the tile pattern, took a while to measure it and lay it out, rolled it with a little foam brush, just tan paint, and then rolled polyurethane over that. And it's been on there, I don't know, several months now. It's holding up fairly well. I did make a few mistakes. I didn't watch any video. I didn't buy anything special. I just used plain paint and plain polyurethane. And there were some things I would have done different, like around the edge of the sink and stuff. It didn't do perfect around the edge of the sink. I would have found something other than masking tape to tape the sink off with. Either that, or I would have just cleaned it off after I was done and not put any tape around it, because peeling the tape out from around the sink kind of messed it up a little bit. So, but that was another really easy one. I would say with the fine line tape and the polyurethane, it probably cost me about $25 to do tile countertops. So if you want to make your old worn out countertops look good, I don't know how long it'll last. I guess it kind of depends on how rough you are on it and how you take care of it. You do have to let it dry for a few days though, so make sure you can go a couple days without sitting anything on your countertops if you do that. You know, 25 bucks, you can at least make it look like you have tile countertops. And I was supposed to redo the kitchen countertops last year. That was my summer project last year, and then it was my winter project last winter, and I didn't get it done. So eventually I'm gonna get new countertops, but I had to do something because the ones that were in here just looked so bad. And they were driving me crazy one day, and I said, I'm gonna paint them. And that's what I did. So, that's some of the most asked questions I get. How did I do that? What did I use for that? Like I said, I've gotten a lot of comments on that poster, and based on the number of comments I've gotten on that poster, if you really want to do something to spruce your kitchen up, put a poster behind your stove. It does look good. It totally changes the look of the kitchen. And the contact paper will do the same thing for just a few dollars. It will totally change the look of the kitchen, and you can do it even if you're renting someplace. Hooks, organize stuff, get it out of the drawers. I could never find anything when it was in the drawers. If I needed a spatula, I'd have to dig for half an hour to find the spatula or spoon I wanted. So I'd never go back to keeping that stuff in drawers. I think, especially women, we tend to look at the big kitchens in the magazines and the show home kitchens and the TV kitchens and even the display kitchens in the store. And of course, I know there are a lot of men who cook too, and it's hard to appreciate what we have, especially if it's not super usable. And I'm hoping that some of these ideas will make the space that you have more usable. My kitchen, I know it looks like it goes back behind me pretty far here when I'm doing a video, but kitchen, refrigerator, I can touch them both. And the stove is right there. It is literally half a step from my sink to my refrigerator, or from either place to my stove. I can touch the whole kitchen from the center of it. So, you know, sometimes when we have a small space, we really have to make use of every square inch of it. And I know there are more kitchens out there that are the size of my kitchen than there are that are the size of the show kitchens that you see in magazines and on TV. And when I was younger and raising a family, it was kind of hard in this kitchen. Samantha makes a joke about holiday dinners being bumper cars in my kitchen. If somebody else comes in here to help cook, you literally bump butts. I mean, there's not room for two people in here. And this folds down. I made this to fold down so I had some place to stand and talk to all of y'all. So get creative with that small space and be grateful for it. I mean, you talk about an energy saver kitchen. I don't have to burn any energy going from the stove to the refrigerator or the stove to the sink. It's all right there. So it saves my energy, it saves my time. There's not as much to clean, and I'm not running back and forth getting stuff out of the refrigerator. Makes life simple. And being thankful for what you have. This is November, so we're going to focus on being thankful, and we're going to start with 1 Thessalonians 5:18. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Jesus Christ concerning you. So this year, all through Christmas and Thanksgiving, let's really focus on being thankful for what we have, because we all have plenty to be thankful for. And all those years, I looked at all those big kitchens. I'm thankful I don't have to walk 200 feet from my stove to my refrigerator. It's half a step. I hope you enjoy these projects. If there's one particular project that folks really want a lot more detail on, if I get a ton of comments on it, maybe we'll do a Tuesday talk and do more detail on one of them. So if there's something that you really want a lot more detail on, leave comments and, you know, we'll keep an eye on them and see if there's a lot of interest in one of them. We'll maybe do a video and show some more detail on it. But most of them are pretty self-explanatory. I hope you give some of them a try. I hope they help you enjoy your kitchen more. And until next time, remember to put God first.